Hello. I've always had a problem with consistency and truth. Pilate asked Jesus, "What is truth?" For him, it was truth that Jesus was innocent. But for the Jews, though, the truth was Jesus was guilty. But for Pilate, it appears truth was relative. He found no fault with Jesus, but found it expedient to hear, as a valid contradiction, what he believed to be true. Christian evangelicals say they believe the Bible, yet at the same time accept as expedient what they have been educated to believe in by pseudoscientists who acknowledge there is no God. This applies to creation, the universe, Big Bang, age of the earth, evolution, Noah's Ark, etc. from Genesis, to end times, mark of the beast, etc. from Revelation. They seem to be comfortable with a bit in the middle, or just the New Testament without Revelation. But the problem is, the Bible is fundamentally a creationist, flat earth book, full of miracles and passages which no pseudoscientist can accept and want you to deny. Is man wiser now? A proverb says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your paths. Do not be wise in your own eyes." Hence, this series of talks will be intentionally left of field to make you think, or think again. Is Scripture true or allegory? The Bible makes very straightforward reading until you try and fit it in with modern pseudoscientist-led wisdom of man. So let's start with Balaam's donkey. Then God's anger was aroused because he went, and the angel of the Lord took his stand in the way as an adversary against him. And he was riding on his donkey, and his two servants were with him. Now, the donkey saw the angel of the Lord standing in the way with his drawn sword in his hand, and the donkey turned aside out of the way and went into the field. So Balaam struck the donkey to turn her back onto the road. Then the angel of the Lord stood in a narrow path between the vineyards, with a wall on this side and a wall on that side. And when the donkey saw that the angel of the Lord, she pushed herself against the wall and crushed Balaam's foot against the wall. So he struck her again. Then the angel of the Lord went further and stood in a narrow place, where there was no way to turn either to the right hand or to the left. And when the donkey saw the angel of the Lord, she lay down under Balaam. So Balaam's anger was aroused, and he struck the donkey with his staff. Then the Lord opened the mouth of the donkey, and she said to Balaam, "What have I done to you, that you have struck me these 3 times? And Balaam said to the donkey, "Because you have abused me, I wish there were a sword in my hand, for now I would kill you." So the donkey said to Balaam, "Am I not your donkey on which you have ridden ever since I became yours to this day? Was I ever disposed to do this to you?" And he said, "No." Then the Lord opened Balaam's eyes, and he saw the angel of the Lord standing in the way with his drawn sword in his hand, and he bowed his head and fell flat on his face. And the angel of the Lord said to him, "Why have you struck your donkey these 3 times? Behold, I have come out to stand against you, because your way is perverse to me. The donkey saw me and turned aside from me these 3 times. If she had not turned aside from me, surely I would have killed you by now, and let her live." And Balaam said to the angel of the Lord, "I have sinned, for I did not know you stood in the way against me." Now therefore, if it displeases you, I will turn back. So how do you reconcile Balaam's donkey passage of scripture with modern pseudoscience? Remember, pseudoscience says there is no God. If you say you believe the Bible, even though you might find it acceptable to dismiss the creation account and Adam in preference for Big Bang, expanding universe and evolution, then you need to consider this. This account is not in Genesis, it's in Numbers. The animal could see and avoid, the man couldn't. The donkey spoke to Balaam, and a conversation was struck up, presumably in Balaam's native tongue. Oh yes, this is just an average, everyday occurrence. What does science say about this? Then when Balaam did see, it was the angel of the Lord. Question: from another unseen realm? An angel of the Lord struck up a conversation in Balaam's tongue, and Balaam called him Lord, which means he was no ordinary angel, for no ordinary angel will accept that title, only God himself. No one has seen the Father, so this must have been an appearance of Jesus in the Old Testament. But you say you believe the Bible. Well, what do you make of these verses regarding the earth and its movement? Tremble before him, all the earth. The world also is firmly established. It shall not be moved. The Lord reigns. He is clothed with majesty. The Lord is clothed. He has girded himself with strength. Surely the world is established so that it cannot be moved. Well, how fast are we moving then? Well, if you believe in the globe earth model and what pseudoscience, astronomy tells us about the universe, then this is what you accept and therefore, shall we say, believe by faith these facts about the world we live in. Here's yes. We'll put it on an axis. Just out of interest. That axis is 23.4 degrees from the vertical, which means that this angle is 66.6 degrees. 666. Where does that come from? Anyway, if we talk about the equator, the spin is anti-clockwise. And we know that the circumference of the Earth is 24,000 miles. And as there are 24 hours in a day, another little coincidence, then it must be going at 1,000 miles per hour. So if you're on the equator, you are spinning at 1,000 miles per hour. And if you live somewhere up here, it's a little bit less. But it is still quite fast. So what about the sun and the Earth? Well, let's draw the sun. And let's draw its orbit of the Earth. And it's going around the Earth. Sorry, it's going around the sun. It's going around the sun anti-clockwise. And we know that this distance is what we are told, 93 million miles, which has 6 noughts on the end, lots of noughts. Its circumference, therefore, is worked out by 2 pi r, where r is the radius, 93,000, times pi times 2, which equates to 585 million miles. That's the circumference that the Earth travels around the Sun in a year. So if we divide by 365 days, we get how much or how many miles is travelled in a day, and we divide that by 24, we find how much is travelled within 1 hour, and that equals 66,600 miles per hour, or thereabouts. And look, 666 has come up again. We have learnt that the Earth spins at 1,000 miles per hour. And we have also learnt that the Earth orbits the Sun at approximately 66,600 miles per hour. But does it end there? Oh no, it certainly doesn't. The whole solar system, including the Earth, is orbiting the centre of the Milky Way at approximate speed of 140 miles per second. And this equates to 500,000 miles per hour. The Milky Way galaxy, which includes the Earth, belongs to a cluster of nearby galaxies called the local group. And we are easing towards the centre of this cluster of galaxies at a speed of 25 miles per second, which is equivalent to 90,000 miles per hour. And the whole local group is hurtling towards the Virgo cluster, which is an enormous collection of galaxies, supposedly some 45 million light years away. And this is at a speed, incredible speed, of 375 miles per second, which equals 1,350,000 miles per hour. So to work out the real speed that the Earth is moving through space, let's add these all up. The Earth spins at the equator at 1,000 miles per hour. The Earth orbits the Sun at 66,600 miles per hour. And the whole solar system orbits the Milky Way at 500,000 miles per hour. And the Milky Way, being part of a cluster of galaxies, is moving inwards towards the centre of this cluster of galaxies at 90,000 miles per hour. And this whole cluster of galaxies is moving towards the Virgo cluster of galaxies at an incredible 1,350,000 miles per hour. So when we add these all up, we get a nice round number of approximately 2 million miles per hour. Well, if you do believe in the globe model of the Earth, as taught to you by pseudoscience and astronomy, then of course you believe that we are moving at 2 million miles per hour. I've given you 2 verses of the Bible that distinctly say we are not moving. And to finish, just to reiterate what I'm saying, I'll give you another 2 verses. He set the earth on its foundations, and it can never be moved. Say among the nations, the Lord reigns. The world is also established. It shall not be moved. He shall judge the peoples righteously. Up until Einstein, there was always a great scientific debate over whether the sun moved around the earth or the earth moved around the sun. In other words, does the earth move or not? And there have been loads of scientific experiments which have been repeatable, and they've all come up with the conclusion that the earth is not moving. But that will have to wait for another day. Up until the end of the 1700s, the word for a donkey was an ass. And in conclusion, I wonder who that really refers to. The donkey, Balaam, or those who believe in pseudoscience.